Hey, welcome back to the second hour of LoveBabz Love Talk. It's Friday in the Elm, and I already got my plans. Stack it up. Stack it up. I already got my plans. Stack it up. I hope you do too. I'm not gonna let this weather. Listen, it's been raining every weekend for like a year. I, I'm not gonna let this rain stop me. I got to get out here in these streets. Get in these streets. Uh, I got a few things I got to do. Ooh, I've got um a pre-law class tomorrow morning, and it's pre-law day, so we got that tomorrow 9:30 in the morning. So it's a longer day than usual, 9:30 to 2. So we'll be doing that. And tomorrow is going to be a packed day. So I've got pre-law day from 9:30 to 2, and then the symphony at 3, and then the 11th annual jazz festival at 6:30. I'm not gonna make Sweet Honey in the Rock at 7:30, but I just, I put it's on my calendar just in case something happens and I might be able to slide over. So my Saturday is gonna be on point and full, 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 full. So I'm excited about that. Uh, so I'm not dealing with that. I'll deal with that later. So I'm curating the wine list, a wine pool for the Long Wharf Theater, and I'm curating black winemakers. So I don't know how many I'm supposed to do. I don't think I'm gonna do that many. I think maybe half a case, maybe six. No, we'll see. Our pocketbooks ain't that deep. So I'm not gonna be able to get to the wine until next week. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'll do that next week. And I don't have to be there until the 22nd. So I'll deal with the wine next week. I'll get back to you next week about the wine. I got things going on this weekend. And then they want you to weigh in on a meeting for June. I'm like, just make the meeting. If I could do it, I'll do it. Like June 20. What day? I don't know. These I'm like, these meetings are on my nerves. Like, okay. I'll get back to you. I'll get back to you. If you like it, then you should have put a ring on it. And the only reason I'm singing that song because I was on my Facebook page and I didn't know this, but when you watch the reboot of Sex and the City, they got Liza Minnelli somewhere doing this the Destiny's Child single ladies with people who look like Liza Minnelli. Liza Minnelli and then back up. And she is, Liza Minnelli is a song and dance girl. And it's pretty cool. Hello? Who's that? Oh, did you just come in the house? No, I just opened the door. Oh, okay. Because I was like, did somebody coming in the house? Sorry. My real life is part of my radio life. That's just how it goes. Uh, that's just how it goes. So, uh, just cracks me up. I just do the best you can. If you like it, then you should put a ring on it. You know. Uh, and I got the most wonderful card yesterday from this little beauty, her family, because she was taken very, very ill, very ill. And I just put it out there. I just set up a prayer warrior situation. And her mama sent me a card yesterday. And it was so very nice to get that and to have a picture of her. this little beauty. So thank you. I'm going to cherish this. I'm settling into old ladydom in a nice way. Oh 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 oh. So can I just tell you, my arms are so sore from pushing iron. Notice the gym language, pushing iron. I am committed to this weight training, to this weightlifting and strength training. Woo! I feel it. My arms are like, girl, what are you doing? But you got to do it. I mean, you got to do it. You got to do it. You got to do it. And I'm doing it. So, but and it's for me. It's about just buying some time. When you strength train, you really are giving yourself back some time. In your life, because your body will respond in kind, and your body likes it. Strength training is a big deal, particularly as you're aging and you start to lose muscle mass and all this other kind of stuff. So I'm about it. So my next thing is to order some glasses. I've been putting it off and putting it off because I really like these glasses, and my prescriptions haven't changed, so I don't really need new glasses. I just want new glasses, and it's time. I've had these for a few years, so it's time for new glasses. So I'm gonna keep these, of course. I'm gonna order some more because it's time to get some more fly ass glasses in my life. I think I'm ready for that. I think I'm ready. So it's not a big deal. But I am going to order some new glasses, and I need to. I'm one of these people too. I need to stop by and cash in these damn lottery tickets because I have them all over the place. Like these are from April. These are from early April. So I'm gonna put these here, and I'm gonna go when I run my errands today, and I've got some errands to run. I feel like I'm always running errands. I feel like I'm just always on the spectrum of running errands. Running away. We need a good situation. And then I'm gonna try to clean this up some point this weekend because I have a real messy mess. And I really need to clean this up. I don't know what I'm gonna do with these little things that somebody gave me. I don't these little daily hydration things. They have too much sugar in them. They're too sweet. Stevia is just too sweet for me. It just makes my tongue itch. I was like, ooh, I don't really like and it has a lot of caffeine, which is I'm not listen, I'm not against caffeine that one bit. I just don't want that much of it. And I need to grind me some beans this weekend. So I've got a lot of things that I need to get to. Well, a lot of things I want to get to. How about that? A lot of things I want to get to. So so uh I'm just paying attention to what's going on in the world. Just paying attention to just some news, what's going on in the world. Um um, uh, w- what is happening. I know there was some shootings in New Haven. I've seen a heavy cop presence, and I believe there was some shootings here in Newhallville. I don't know how I can live in Newhallville and it just goes over my head. I don't know how I don't know how uh I don't know how I don't know all of this. And that's on me. I'll get better at that, I guess. I'll pay attention. I'm not paying attention to too much to what is going on in the Trump world. I've not paid too much attention to that. Uh, uh, I am paying attention globally of what's happening. We have so many conflicts in the world that are displacing so many people that it is almost unconscionable that we are watching this in real time. And I think the only thing that I am able to do is just keep elevating the fact that we are watching this in real time. It's not like we're waiting for the news. We are seeing the news. You know, and it is quite challenging. But there's some other issues too that are quite challenging. I'm spending a lot of time concerning myself with the way that higher education, colleges and universities are not on the not champion uh uh bigger issues in the way that I always imagined that the institutions of higher education would. I always think it's young people in these on campuses that, that are the moral compass of the country and the citizens. And I don't know if that's true anymore. Or maybe it was never true. But I always thought that it was kind of true. Yeah. So I'm bothered by that. And I'm bothered by, not enough protesting is going on in places that I think protesting should be going on. And I'm worried about, when I see legislation passed in Arizona that goes back to pre-Civil War in terms of abortion, the curtailing of women's ability to make choices in their best reproductive interest. You know, I'm a 60-year-old woman, and I'm in this fight. I'm in this fight that my women before me have already fought and won. Why am I in this fight again? And now I have to be concerned about what is in the best interest of my daughters and their rights. I have a daughter that's 27 and a daughter that's 22. And it bothers me. And I've got a son who's 26 and a son who's 22. And, you know, will they have to have these fights in 25 years? Well, like, will they have to are we going to continue to have these fights? Can we codicil some things and so that they are never to be brought up again? Like, what is happening? And I don't ask that because I don't know what is happening. I'm saying it as a level of frustration that we are allowing white men to yet again dictate the movement of people, the movement of women's minds, the movement of women's bodies, the movement of people of color. Why are we still in that space? And I need white men of good conscience to like shut all that down. Not go along with not go along with the Donald Trumps of the world and these stupid Marjorie Taylor Greene types. Like, not go along with that ridiculousness of thought. And I want people to be smarter, and they're just not rising to it. or my other thought is this: that what we're seeing is just a modicum and not really that register, that doesn't carry much weight in the overall scheme of things, and that the people who will make the difference and turn the tides um, are not the people who are talking about this and not the ones that the media is focused on. That men and women of conscience will go to the polls and do what is in the best interest of this country and not what is in the best interest of religious fervor and deliberate stupidity. That's how I'm seeing this now. At least I'm praying that. But that didn't get me anywhere with Hillary Clinton, being the next president. I went to bed thinking, surely people will see this clown for what he is. And I for the life of me, I don't know what it is about Donald Trump that people that think that he could lead. He holds the most bankruptcies of any private citizen in America. He cheated on every wife he's ever had with wives that he married. This wife, the current wife, came from the Epstein pool. Come on. He cheated his own charity, for God's sake. That's not even made up. That's not hearsay. He got slapped for that. Had to shut it down because he was stealing from his own charity. What? He has no regard or respect for women. None. No regard and no respect for Black people. None. No regard, no respect for Latino people. None. And yet, so what does that say about the kind of people that are in this country, which can be very frightening if you take the deep dive. You know, most people only read fifth grade level. Most people that vote for him are not educated people, and that's scary, scary, because that means that there's no critical thinking here, right? And then you could really make the jump and the leap and the correlation that the way that we trash the education system in this country is designed to keep more people like the people that follow Trump viable and populous, right? We need more of those kind. The thinking is we need more of these kinds of people who are not smart, who don't have critical thinking skills, who can be told and convinced readily and easily of a carnival barker to sell them uh hoop dreams. That's how I get here. It is to somebody's advantage to have a population that does not possess higher education. And we all know higher education is quite valuable. And when people start that, oh, it's not valuable, I immediately understand what they're trying to do. Because we know that higher education and the pursuit of higher education is quite valuable. We know that. That's proven. That's not even, but when you start to tell people that it is not valuable, and then the prices of getting higher education becomes so ridiculously out of reach, then you are deliberately trying to create an undercurrent of people, an underclass of people who will just do the work and do as they're told and be told what to do without any problem. You're building an undercurrent, an underclass of people that will never rise above what you want them to do. You want worker bees. You don't want any conversation. And that's how it always begins, right? You start building a class of people that you can oppress, so now the oppression isn't, beat them into the ground in the fields. The oppression is now keep them in low paying jobs, contain them in underachieving neighborhoods and underachieving schools, step up the prison population so that they can so that you can have a revolving door so that you can train them to be worker bees at that level. So you've got a couple of entry points to underclass. You have a couple of entry points to underclass. You got a public education system that is not going to allow you to achieve. That's number one. You got a prison complex system that is going to mirror what happens in the public education system. Tell me I'm wrong. Somebody raise their hand and tell me I'm wrong. Tell me I'm wrong. I see it so clearly in front of me. And now you start to see people having these conversations about the labor force and unions, organized labor. how people are trying to push that out of favor and have this at will kind of foolishness, all these kinds of conversations, all these service industry jobs, right? Service industry jobs where people have to be of service. They have to work in fast food restaurants. They have to work in restaurants. They have to do, grunt work and all these kinds of things. We're not really training people. We're not really providing the educational supports to do anything other than that, except in a few places. A lot of it is done just enough so people don't really look underneath, don't really look behind the curtain. Oh, we're gonna train some people for STEM. Oh yeah, we want everybody to get into STEM, but not really. You know, not really. Because you can't have STEM conversations and not have AP conversations. You can't have STEM conversations and not have writing conversations. You can't have STEM conversations without having math conversations. I mean, you just can't do it. You know, you just can't. It's just a fallacy to sort of say, "Oh, we're gonna teach you how to code," but then you're so far behind in the coding, and you can't get the coding jobs because what you've been teaching is already obsolete. But we're not having those conversations. you know we're having these ridiculous conversations we're having these conversations about if people just learn a skill, but we're not setting things up for people to get skills. We're starting to have conversations about manufacturing jobs. Why aren't we having jobs about training people how to be lawyers and doctors and nurses, not CNAs, but nurses? Why are we not putting those programs in place? Why aren't those accessed and readily free? Why? Why are CDL classes and phlebotomy classes and all these and medical coding free? Why is that free? Why isn't nursing schools free? Why isn't med schools free? Why? Why aren't law schools free? Less than 5% of all the lawyers in this country are black people, people of color, black and brown people. You mean to tell me they couldn't use more black and brown people in these professions? That's what we're saying. But we want to push people to, to do other things, to be on the manufacturing line. And I don't say any of those jobs are not good jobs. That's not the point that I'm making. And if people hear that, then you are already drinking Kool-Aid. You're already drinking the poisonous Kool-Aid. Because if that's what you think I'm saying, what I'm saying is the damn playing field is not level. The playing field is not level. And when it's not level, you're gonna have pockets of people who can get up the mountain, and pocket of people who can't get up the mountain, and that's deliberate. It is deliberate. Just like redlining is deliberate. It's deliberate. And I don't need the government to allow us to print our own money. That doesn't make any sense. That sounds foolish. We can collectively have a monetary system that everybody can benefit from. That's not the damn problem. The damn problem is access and the uneven playing ground in which people have to deal with, and that is problematic. That is problematic. So we're not having the right conversations in the right places. What we're doing is we are creating an underclass of people right in front of us. Right in front of us. We're doing it. When I'm sitting here and I'm listening to people talk about they don't know how to train kids how to read, we are having a conversation about how to train children how to read. And somebody thought sight learning was a way to do this and not phonetics? What? When we are in this moment having conversations about how to teach children how to read, write, and do math, are you kidding me? That's a losing game right there. I don't care what anybody says, because you can train kids to read, write, and do arithmetic. You know what the problem is? The problem is that the supports around schools don't exist. They don't exist. So schools are taking on the responsibility of trying to do everything that they can before even learning happens. I'm seeing they put in laundromats in schools because kids are showing up with dirty clothes. And if kids have dirty clothes, guess what happens? They don't go to school. They don't go to school because their clothes are dirty, right? Right? So the conversation is, do we feed kids all summer, all year? Yeah, you got to feed kids all year round. What is the problem? What is the problem? And why can't we feed kids better food? Why? What is the problem with feeding kids better food? I don't understand this. And wait, and then this is the crazy part. We understand that we have an obesity problem and a nutrition problem in this country, but yet we serve kids every single day in this country terrible food for lunch and breakfast. Why? Why are we doing that? We have the means and the ability to serve good ass food every single day. And whatever is left over, guess what? We got a whole host of homeless people who could benefit from this food too. We can feed people. We don't have a lack of food in this country. We don't. What we have is a lack of political will, innovation, and a commitment to ensure that we say and believe that children are our future, teach them well, and let them lead the way. I mean, Whitney Houston and George Benson sang a whole damn song about this. We can feed kids. This is what we want schools to do all these things, but schools are not prepared to do all these things. You know, we take kids out of homes in the foster care system and give foster care families money to support the taking care of this child. But we don't do that for the families where these kids are taken from. Imagine if we could put some monetary support around families who are struggling, because a lot of these problems are because they are struggling. Now, I'm not talking about the people who are beating the hell out of their kids, trafficking their kids. That's a whole other subset of problems. But there are families in these communities that could benefit greatly from an extra X amount of dollars a month to help them provide and support their children. And I know I hear the people, well, is that the government's issue problem? Hell, yes, it is. It's the government's problem. You know, it's the government. It's because we are the government. The government is not those people over there. It's you and me and all of us who vote, who don't vote, who talk, who don't talk. It's all of us. Government is all of us. It's not just some group of people over there in a building and they got all the computers and the access and the data. The government is you and me. What? So you and we could demand whatever we want from the government. Within reason, we could do it. So that's why I see. I'm just feeling like we are creating an underclass of people day by day, moment by moment. When you tell people that there's no housing for you, there's no good housing for you because you can't afford it. We know $15 an hour is not enough to support anybody, not let alone a family. A single person making $15 an hour can't afford rent. And yet we look at that as if, oh my God, we know that people need to be paid more. And then business will come at you with, oh, I can't afford that, I can't afford that, I can't afford that. Well, then you should be out of business. And then those that can pay should pay. They're benefiting. Look at NASDAQ. Who was doing well on NASDAQ? Who was doing well? Who is doing well? Who is making profit? There are people who are making profit left and right. Left and right. Making profit. We have a problem here and we're not seeing it. And people just think, oh, if these people just work harder. What does that even mean? What does that mean? Work hard, like 8 jobs? You know, what are we trying to do? What do we want this country to look like in the next 50 years? Because we don't seem to be putting our attention toward the well-being of its citizens. And we spend a lot of time concerning ourselves with the people who everybody on this continent is an immigrant. The world is made up of immigrants. So we need to stop having that ridiculous ass conversation. The world is made up of immigrants. Everybody came from somewhere else. Everybody. Everybody has come from somewhere else. So when we have these ridiculous conversations, and I know why people say it, because people think that people come over here getting something that they themselves are not getting. But not now one of these people want to walk their asses into anybody's field and pick cotton, potatoes, tomatoes, greens, beans. I'm married. They're not trying to do any of that. What they're doing is just a narrow framework for what they see the world, what they see they're losing in their own small worlds. And they're really not losing anything. You know, I see people do this all the time. They walk into convenience stores and then they get mad when they see other than white people in convenience stores. And I always say to them, did you want to open a convenience store? Was this the place where you wanted to open a convenience store and just wasn't able to do it? Oh no, that's not what I'm saying. Well, then what the hell are you saying? Like, why are you begrudging these people the ability to create some sustainability for their family? Why? What is it about this that annoys you? Because clearly you in here buying gas. Was there somebody in your family who wanted this space to open or somewhere and they just not, well, no, that's not what I'm saying. That's not what I'm saying. Well, what are you saying? Because you sound very racist and you're just talking. You're not saying anything of substance. And I think if we could just get people to slow down their brains, so some of this foolishness, not all of them, because some of them are dyed in the wool racist and just hate people because they just see people achieving things that they're not. Now I don't know what that means, but I imagine and I suspect that's at the root of people. That's why prisons look the way they look because, oh, well, why should they get an education in prison? And my kid, I can't afford to send my kid to school. All right. Well, then you know what? Continue to, to not educate them and let them break in your house and bust you upside your head every other day until until they can't get out anymore. And then guess what? At some point, everybody's gonna be locked up. Everybody's gonna be locked up. Everybody's gonna be locked up. And you got people in your own family who done some time or about to do some time or whatever. So I want us to collectively think about deconstructing this underclass that we have been marching to for the last decade. Well, according to the Republican playbook, forever. We are marching toward this underclass of people, and the gap is getting wider and wider and wider, and it's dangerous. It's very, very dangerous. And nothing says revolution like oppression. Nothing sets you up for revolution like oppression, because people get tired, and their backs up against the wall, and you push people to the margins. I mean, history bears this out. But I know history is a tricky thing for people because they don't like to know it or read it or delve into it. Ain't nobody trying to read nothing about history. They just think, oh well, we just showed up now. We's now. I was like, there are real lessons to be learned from history, people. Pick up a damn book. So I feel like there's an undercurrent, underclass being built every second of every day, and it's not being addressed, and we are having distraction fights or fights that distract us from the larger issue of how do we take care of our citizens, how do we become and stay powerful in the world, but not powerful to do harm, but powerful to sustain and to be a model for the rest of the world to sustain themselves. I'll be back on Monday. Y'all have a great weekend. I'll be at the jazz concerts. I'll be all over the place. I hope I see y'all out there too. Get into it. I'll be back.